Peace everyone, Unmask Art here, and welcome back to the self-portrait live stream. Today the goal is to finish off my cheek here, and then I'm going to get straight to the lips and the teeth, because I know that the open mouth smile where you see teeth and stuff can sometimes be difficult, so hopefully seeing me do it will give you some confidence in doing your own open mouth smiles. Hello Helen, good to see you. So I'm just going to quickly fill in my cheek here. First I'm just going to color in the crease a little bit so I don't lose that detail. Essentially I'm just working around all this, the hair. Ignoring the hair. I'm gonna treat that area like a completely different part of the drawing. Oh goodness, a lot of you came in. Oda, Bad Vibes, Wahab. I am good, thank you so much. Friends, you're not late at all. I literally just started, so You're just in time. Thank you guys for coming by and hanging out with me. I'm glad that you are enjoying the daily live streams, enjoying this project, seeing me color myself. I've been really enjoying hanging out with everyone every day and just, chatting about all kinds of interesting and weird topics. Yesterday my wife and I went and watched Endgame for a second time, and it was just as good the second time around. It was a good time. Like I had said before, Wednesdays are date nights, and we've been having date nights for a little over a year now, maybe about a year and a half. We started last year, January timeframe, and it's always kind of been Wednesday because Tuesdays and Thursdays are my Patreon stream day, and it's just a little bit easier for me to get into town when she's getting off work. But this month, date night's a little different, and this was the first date night that we had in the month of May. And it was a little difficult, I'm not gonna lie, because we're doing 100% whole foods, and there's no restaurant. I'd be surprised if there's a restaurant anywhere in the world that could cater to our dietary restrictions for this month. And so before I left to meet her for work, I had to grate up her apple. I don't know if you guys remember, I was telling you that my wife, she likes apples, but she will only eat them one very specific way, and that is grated. After you peel it, you grate it. And so it's just kind of like an applesauce, sort of, but uncooked. So like raw applesauce. And so I grated her an apple, I took her a banana and some pistachios, because I've gotten her hooked on pistachios this month. And oh no, my line art. I'm looking at my line art and it's not good. It is not good at all. Okay, so I'm gonna have to focus when I start drawing in the teeth, really, to get those accurate, because it's very important. Anyways, So I took that stuff into her. I didn't eat anything, and before the movies, I went into a little convenience store and they had packs of baby carrots. So I just got a couple packs of baby carrots and munched on them during the movie. Yeah, so it was a lot less dinner and just more of a movie date night. And it was fine. I mean, we came back home and I made dinner, because the movie was rather early, but a 3-hour movie, you still get home pretty late. Still confused about blending skin colors? Well, the key to blending skin colors is to just focus on matching the color in a certain area. You know, if you have a wide library of pencil colors like I do, I have the full set of luminance, the full set of Prismacolor, and the full set of polychromos. But realistically, you could get away with just the full set of Prismacolor, which is why I always recommend them to anybody getting started or new to colored pencils. And there's plenty of colors in there that you would be able to use to match any particular color of skin with some variance. So what you do, the best way to go about the skin is to find a color that's in the middle. So you have like the highlight part of the skin, you have the mid-tones of the skin, and then you have the darker shadows of the skin. And what I would suggest you do is you find a nice middle tone. Usually, if it's Prismacolor, it's going to be somewhere around like 1093, 997 color, maybe a little bit of 1019, or yeah, I'd say somewhere around there. A little bit of the 140. So those colors in Prismacolor are usually going to be rather safe bets for your mid-range colors. And you saw, like at the beginning, I just colored in my cheek really quick here, and I actually used a luminance pencil for that. I used 872, and I just laid down a base layer. Very, very lightly. I wasn't trying to like fully cover the paper or anything. And once you have that base layer, the important thing is to just get your values correct. You know, even if you don't have the perfect color, it's going to look a lot better if you have your values correct. So that's what I focus on the most in the beginning. And that's what I focused on the face so far. Now the face is still far from being complete. The forehead and my cheeks and my nose and everything. The only thing I focused on while working on the forehead and nose yesterday was getting the form. And I mentioned that a little bit while I was working yesterday. And the form is that three-dimensional look. So you can see the subtle rays of my eyebrow bones here. The shadow kind of comes over and wraps around here and kind of sinks in between my eyebrow bones. And then also between my eyes right here, the bridge of the nose. And then the right side of my nose is darker. The light is hitting here. But it's subtle. It's not a really drastic change. The drastic change will come later on as I continue to build more color over top of those colors that I laid down, because these are just foundational colors to help bring in the form and bring in a little bit of color. But later on, I will do more of a precise coloring of the skin, and that's where I'll bring in, you know, some of the wrinkles around my eyes a little bit more, the crow's feet at the edge where my eyes are wrinkling because I'm smiling in the picture. And all of those finer details. And then what I'll do is I'll use toning colors on the skin, and I'll use very vibrant, very bright colors that you would not regularly associate with the skin when I do the toning part. I'm really disappointed that I rubbed off so much of my line art for my teeth. This is going to make it really, really hard because there's not a lot of room In fact, there's almost no room for error here. Maybe I should just use my pencil. Yeah, I'll have to redraw my mouth a bit because it's the lines are just not dark enough. I can still see some of the line work, but not enough of it to play it safe. Good morning, Brenda, Tessa, Sandri. Anybody else that I might have missed? Apologize for that. But, you know, going back to the topic of the skin tones, you know, I have several videos on skin tones here on my YouTube channel that you can check out, and they will give you, you know, some good insight. So that's what I would recommend you do. Check out those, because the pre-recorded tutorials that I have, you know, they're a bit more articulate than what I'm trying to say here now. And you might, and I list the colors, I show you colors and all of that a bit more clearly. So you might have better luck watching one of those older videos that I've done. This is nerve-wracking. Trying to redraw my teeth in. The mixing stream from Chrissy was a good one yesterday on mixing pastels. Yeah, it was a great stream. Yeah, getting my teeth right here is extremely important. So when you you know, when you're doing an open mouth smile with teeth, in order for the smile to be recognized, you have to have, you literally can't have one tooth out of place. It's extremely delicate, and so I highly recommend you spend a lot of extra time sketching in the mouth to make it exactly the way it should be. Sorry, this bit here, you know, I should have looked at my line art before the live stream a little bit more closely. Sometimes I just get caught up in making sure everything else is prepared, that I under prepare for the actual stream. swear I see a light flickering. I can't tell which one it is. Oh well. Now I just stared into a light and my eyes are all weird. Okay, I think I just about have it. This tooth. One more tooth in the back showing. Something looks off here. Something looks off over here. This. I need to see if I can fix that light. Hard to say for sure which one is flickering. Stop flickering. I think it's this front light here. Oh well, I'll just have to tolerate it. Let's see. This line. I feel like that tooth might be too thin. No, it is thin like that. Ah, I see what it is. There's a bit of a gap there. Yeah, and this tooth doesn't show up as much. Kind of like that. Yeah, very, very, very subtle changes that I need to make there. And now I can go back with my black. So what I usually do with open mouth smiles is, I'll use my black pencil to get the sides where it's just the inside of the mouth, and sometimes it's a pure black, and sometimes it is a like just a real dark reddish brown. But regardless, a layer of black is perfectly acceptable. What's harder to do, line art or coloring? Coloring. Yeah, coloring is much harder. Because if you think about it, line art only requires accuracy of a single color, which is just gray, your pencil. But coloring requires both accuracy in color and in lines. So the graphite line art only requires one type of accuracy, where color requires two types of accuracy. I would say the line art is the least fun thing to do also. All right, I think I can do. I'm going to need a brighter color. Let's go with, maybe I will just use this color. That color looks too dark. I need a lighter red color. I think this is going to work. 994, yeah. I'm gonna then color around my teeth. I'm gonna sharpen this pencil really quick just to make sure it's as sharp as I can get it. There we go, now it's perfectly sharp. How do I blend oil-based pencils and wax-based pencils? Oh, well, they blend the same. There's usually when people refer to oil-based pencils, they're particularly referring to the polychromos pencils. Because I would say out of all the oil-based pencils that they're the most common of all. And the truth is about oil-based pencils in general is that oil-based pencils are not actually oil-based pencils. They're no different. They're no different than luminance or Prismacolor. The thing about them is that the proportion of oil to wax binder is different. So in actuality, the pencils are made of the same exact stuff. What changes is that the binder percentage is different proportionally between the oil and wax. And as you lower the wax and increase the oil amount, you are able to get a denser pencil. And that's why the polychromos are more dense, they're sharper, and they're also more translucent. And so there's no difference in operating the pencil or blending them or literally doing anything with them. It's all the same. No technique is unique to one or the other brand. So you can rest easy knowing that you can do anything with the more oil-based polychromos that you can do with the luminance or the the luminance or the Prismacolor. So yeah, just want to make that very, very clear. Now I can use this same bright red right over top of my black just to give it kind of a richness of color. So it's still black, but now it just has like a hint of red in it. I'm not gonna lie, this looks a little creepy. What are my favorite pencils? My favorite pencils are Prismacolor. The reason Prismacolor are my favorites is because they have the widest color range selection. They are very cheap in comparison to luminance and polychromos, and they look good. I like them because they're accessible to everyone. You know, anybody can afford a set of Prismacolor. I mean, even when I was a really young kid, I was able to save up money for video games just by finding loose change in the couch and or asking strangers for a quarter. I wasn't above doing that. I've asked strangers for a quarter. That's the benefit of being a kid. You can ask a stranger for a quarter and they'll just be like, "Oh yeah, here you go. Here's $1." You know? If you're a homeless adult, you know, you ask a stranger for $1, they tell you you stink and to get away from them. Unless you're a gypsy kid. If you're a gypsy kid, then you get told, well, you don't really get told anything, you just get ignored. Gypsy kids look, they look exactly like every orphan ever in any movie. Ever considered visiting Romania, as it is not far from Poland? Of course, I've considered visiting every single country in Europe in general, and Romania was certainly one of those. My wife and I, we don't do a lot of European traveling because the immigration problem is so severe. But I think it's perhaps a little, what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe a little too cautious. So I think, you know, we'll probably try to get out to a few countries soon enough. So now the next thing coloring in my teeth is to turn them gray, which you might think is crazy because I have lovely white teeth. But no matter how white your teeth are, they're not white. The only parts of teeth that are actually white are the glistening highlights that make them look wet. Aside from that, they are gray to a gray brown. And I can assure you, I have very nice white teeth. Well, maybe not nice, but they're very white. I'm pleased with the whiteness of my teeth. And even in a very well lit situation in which this photograph was taken, I smile. My teeth still have a gray brown tint. And the reason they have that is because, you know, your teeth are very smooth. At least they should be very smooth. And because of that smooth surface, they reflect a lot of color. And what colors do you have around your teeth? Well, you have pinks and browns. And so you get a reflection of all those colors. And so you have to darken your teeth. So many times I see portraits, open mouth smiles, and the teeth just look like empty. They just look like empty paper space, and it's because the person coloring, they're afraid to make the teeth look yellow, and so they avoid adding any color value to the teeth, and it just makes the teeth look unnatural and fake. Here I'm using the same base color skin, so I'm using this color here that I used on my cheek at the beginning. I'm using this same color right on my teeth, and I'm just kind of working around some of the brighter highlights. But in the end, I'm applying quite a bit of this color on, especially the teeth on the outer edge where they're more shadow. It looks weird because I have no lips yet. Did you ever have any difficulty finding colored pencils like Polychromos and Luminance? No, I bought my Polychromos and Luminance pencils when I was still living in America. Everything's easy to find in America. You just got to pay for it. But the Prismacolors, I bought full set. I bought 2 full sets of those while I've lived here, and there was no problem. I mean, Polychromos, they're made in Germany, so there's absolutely no difficulty. And Luminance, are Caran d'Ache, they're a European brand as well. I think I want to say they're made in France, but I could be completely wrong about that. Maybe Italy or France. I think I can't remember where they're made. But yeah, so relatively close to my location. No immigrants in Romania, only gypsies. Yeah, it would be cool to come up to Romania and explore. All right, time for my lips to come in a little bit. Now with lips, you got to be you got to be a little careful with lips because if you're working on a girl, it's a little bit easier because if you go too bright, then it just looks like lipstick. But on a guy, you have to be a little bit more sensitive, and you can't go too bright with your colors. I'm using Prismacolor 1018, which is a relatively muted pink color. It still has quite a bit of saturation to it though. So I'm not going to be heavy-handed with it. I'm just going to slowly build it up and turn my lips pink. And then I'll use my skin colors that I've previously used already that I have laying all over my table. I'll use that to tone down the pink as I need in order to get the lips to just look natural. Another thing that I need to do is just pick up a little bit of the edge of the line art around the light side so that I don't have graphite smearing into my lips. Swiss. I knew it was. I knew that I was wrong in saying France or Italy with Caran d'Ache, but I just couldn't remember the country. I was like 20% sure that it was either of those two countries, but I was like 90% sure I wasn't. If that makes any sense at all. Yeah, the Swiss brand. That's right. That is right. Because I actually watched a video like a long time ago, somebody buying Caran d'Ache pencils in the country that they're made, and I couldn't remember which country they were in. My top lip is a disaster. I'm just doing the shape of my lips with this one color, just a base color of this pink, and then I'll come over top of it with my darker shades to make them actually look like lips. So I need another color here. This is, I think I already had this picked out, and this is 193. Yeah, so 193 color. Oh, hello there, Catrice. Good to see you. This is going to bring a little bit more red into my lips. So I'm still going to do light layers because it's actually more of a like a gray purple for the shadows on my lips. But there are some spots that have a bit more red showing in them. Still looks kind of weird. Now it's just a floating mouth. Now there's obviously a lot of creases on lips, so when you're coloring them in, it's always a good idea to color them in the direction that those texture lines go. All right, now I need to get my darker purple color, 194. It's more of like a purple brown. I know I have it somewhere here. There we go. Another polychromos color. You know, another thing about lips and really just coloring in general is that, you know, it's really common when coloring that you try to you stray away from the reference photo in a negative way, where you try to create a separation that doesn't exist. There's probably two of the most common things that I see. The first and the most common is the bridge of the nose. Anytime you draw a portrait where the bridge of the nose touches the cheek, so in this case, the bridge of my nose is here and my cheek is here, and there's that overlap, there's that gap there that separates the nose from the face. Not so much in this picture. There is a clear line in my reference photo that separates my nose from my cheek, but in some pictures that's not the case. In some pictures, the bridge of the nose is the exact color as the cheek. Usually this happens with an overlit subject or studio lighting. Studio photography is very different than like artistic photography. Usually, you know, like you see it in like on makeup boxes or like hair dye boxes where the subject is really, really well lit and there's no shadows on the face anywhere. That's studio lighting, and it's meant to erase those shadows. And usually if the face is turned a little bit, the bridge of the nose matches the color of the cheek, so there's no actual line that separates the nose from the cheek. And when people color portraits that have that type of lighting, and it doesn't always have to be, studio shot pictures. Sometimes it just happens. Light works different all the time. And so what people will tend to do is, because they can't see the line, and they know that there is a line, there is a separation between the nose and the cheek, and what they end up drawing is different than what the reference photo shows, because they are afraid of losing the nose in the face. And so what they do is they create a line that doesn't exist, separating the nose from the cheek. And usually, and of course there are exceptions to this, people exaggerate those lines. They exaggerate the lines that separate the nose from the cheek. And so what ends up happening is they just get this outline of the nose, and it makes the drawing look not realistic. And so you have to be very careful when you do stuff like that, because it's going to downgrade the quality of your work. And I know that it's a difficult thing. It's hard to kind of adjust those, adjust to those mistakes. Because it's hard to see them in the first place. A lot of people aren't even really aware that they're doing it. And another transition that a lot of people struggle with is on the lips, which is why I'm bringing this up. Unless you're wearing some kind of lipstick that drastically outlines your lips from your face, then you need to be very careful with the outline of the lips, because your lips don't just sit on your face. They are a part of your face, and it's a very gentle curve. Unless you pumped your lips full of that nonsense that girls keep doing, and you look like a duck, then your lips should just fit comfortably on your face and have nice curves to them. And so they don't pucker unless you're puckering. So you have to gradually change the color from your lip color into your skin color, and there's no clear line there. It's a gradient, so you have to be really careful with that transition as well. And please don't inject things into your lips. I've never once seen it look good. And I think I speak for 99% of all men that say it doesn't look good. So I don't know why women keep doing it. It's just the most ridiculous looking thing in the world. And no matter how natural some people try to make it seem like it is, it's not natural looking. It's also not healthy. I can assure you, nothing that you inject into your skin to make it look like that is healthy. Hey, what's up, Cece? I was wondering when you were gonna show up. All right, I got some of that color down. I'm gonna do some smoothing with Luminance 862, and this is just a nice grayish purple, low saturation purple, so it won't add a lot of anything to my lips, but it will let me smooth it out without altering the color drastically. I'd say that's probably the standard lip color for men, is a faded purple, like a base gray, light purple. I'd probably be pretty safe with those colors with just about any lip. And the thing is, these same colors in the lips show up in the shadows on the skin. So you can kind of think of the lips as just being a very, very strange looking shadow, because the colors that you use on the face will be in the lips, but mostly it will be shadow colors. And then maybe a hint of extra pink, give it a little bit of blood, because that's what makes lips look pink, is blood. Zoom into the eyes. I can assure you, there's no detail worthy of zooming in. Not yet. Not yet. I'm gonna jump back up to my cheek really quick. Just do another layer of this base color, and then I'm gonna add a little bit more of my skin tone color. Let's see, I think I need a little bit of 866, I think. Where is that color? The color always tries to hide from me. You're totally right. It looks horrible when people alter their appearance with Botox silicone. Yeah. Yeah, it does look really awful. And the funny thing is, if you've ever just randomly browsed on Instagram, there's a lot of Instagram models, and I would do air quotes right now, but yeah, a lot of Instagram models that do those lip injection things. And the ironic thing is that they all end up looking very similar. They all look pretty much like the same. They come from the same family of ducks. And it's just so unattractive. And I just don't understand who, I just don't understand who they're trying to appease with that awful look. And the funny thing is Instagram is essentially synonymous with faking it and photoshopping yourself into perfection. And so not only do they look awful after they've been so-called photoshopped to perfection, but that they look even worse in real life, and you can't help but ask yourself, how much worse does it look in real life? Honestly, it looks 1,000 times worse in real life, because it's actually really, really common here in Poland. Just normal, everyday people get it done here. And, sometimes you just see these people riding the bus with you, and it's like, what did you do to your face? Plastic surgery is also rather common. I see those facelifts, people getting the skin on their face pulled back to the back of their head, so I don't even know what to call people that look like that. They look, all John Travolta like. You guys ever see the comedian Carrot Top? Gosh, he is a train wreck. He looks like a disaster. Yeah, that's what some people here in Poland look like. I mean, not a lot. I'm not saying like you're gonna go out and see one right away, but I see it. I see it often enough to notice that it's not as uncommon as I thought it would be, or would have assumed it would be in this country. But it's yeah, it's relatively common. How do I remember the orders of colors used for skin? I don't. I just make it up as I go. Yeah, I just make it up as I go. Honestly, if you take two colors and you layer one down and layer the other one down and then oppositely layer the other one over top of the other one, you're still going to get the same color. So if you do it with three colors, you're going to get the same color. If you do it with five colors, you're going to get the same color. And when it comes to mixing, when it comes to layering and when it comes to matching the color, because that's the real difficulty. The real difficulty is matching the color in the reference photo and getting those colors consistently. The only way to learn that is through experience. No matter what you do, there's no shortcut. I could sit on here for 48 straight hours explaining in excruciating detail what I'm doing. And you will not be able to do it. Because the only way to learn it is through experience. Because when you are working with your pencils over and over and over and over and over again, you build a library, kind of like a mixing library in your head, where you know what is going to happen if you apply this color and this color together. And a part of that is understanding color theory, though you don't have to go out and get a textbook and start studying and taking notes on color theory. I don't think that's necessary. I've never done that, and I would never urge somebody to do that. To me, it sounds immensely boring and pointless. So that it's not something that I would ask people to do or recommend people to do. But the experience of working with your pencils over time, you know where your target is. So the biggest and most important hurdle using colored pencils, and this is across all mediums. This doesn't have anything to do with colored pencils. It's painting, it's digital painting, it's anything. The biggest and most important hurdle is to know your target. Okay? If you know your target, it doesn't matter how you get there. Nobody cares how you get there. The only important thing is that you get there. And if you have a target, you have a very clear target, then you've already accomplished the most difficult part. The next thing is to get to that target. Now, like I said, there's an infinite ways to get to the target. You just need to find one of them. And among the infinite ways, you could arrive there accidentally, almost every time. The only important thing is that you identify your target and you start to approach it. And what happens a lot of the time, when I say it like that, it makes it sound kind of easy, but what happens a lot of the time is that people get afraid. They even if they know their target, they can look at their target. They can print their target, and by target I mean their color. They could print it out on a piece of paper and lay it right next, and they'd still be afraid to approach that target. And that's color. That's color fear. So you just need to identify your target. Like right now, I'm just using this color. This isn't the actual color of my skin here in this area. I know what my target is, and it's not this, but this is a step towards it at least. Covering the paper will always be a step closer to your target. So, yeah. Hopefully that helps a little bit. With experience, you will arrive at your target location much faster, and with far little effort. This is why people that are good at things appear to make things look so easy. Not because it's easy, but because they've spent the necessary time to gain the experience to know the shortest path, the shortest distance to their target. And nobody can teach you that. And if anybody says otherwise, they're lying to you. Only experience can teach you that. I've made plenty of tutorials that are so step by step that you literally know the pencil in my hand at every given second. And even with that type of instruction, there is a variable of outcomes, which, if the instruction was followed exactly, would not be the case. But the variables come in with people's confidence in color and their experience. The greater experience, the better the outcome, and the closer the outcome will be to the outcome that I've created. And so that's why there's a variable outcome even among my most detailed and precise tutorials. Have I ever mixed up your luminance pencils and your pastel pencils? Oh no, they don't look even remotely the same. For one, luminance pencils are cylindrical, where the pastel pencils are, what are they, hexagons? No, they're not. They're not hexagons. No, they are hexagon. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're hexagon. Hexagonal. Something along those lines. And they have a separate box also that I've never removed them from. Your portrait tutorial was the first one I did, and it was really helpful. Oh, well, I'm glad to hear that, Helen. Yeah, I think I remember seeing, I'm pretty sure you sent me your final drawing. I've only ever received, 2 or 3 of those, of the final drawings that people have done from my portrait course, my colored pencil portrait course. Which I would like to take this time to shamelessly plug, is for sale on my website. It is a 6-hour course for $10, which you will never ever get from anyone else, especially anyone that can teach, even half as well as I do. I am using a photo. Yes, I'm working from a photo, not a mirror. When you see me look up, I'm looking at my monitor. I have the camera here that you see me on, and then my monitor is right above it. And then I have my top-down camera above my monitor. So yes, from a photo, not a mirror. It would be, I don't think that it would be possible for me to do my self-portrait from a mirror and to live stream it. One, because I definitely don't have the room for that setup. And two, my lighting would be a disaster. Like looking into the mirror, I'm just trying to think. I would really, these lights, my table lights won't affect me because they're pointing down. But my overhead light, I'm trying to think of where I'd have the mirror. I think the best location would be like right here. So I would be getting that light, which would make the right side of my face like really dark. And I don't think that that lighting would be very flattering. And besides, I wouldn't want to live stream with a face camera if I was drawing from a mirror, because I'd be sitting here going, like trying to find the right pose, and then every time I need to look back at the reference, i.e. look at myself, I'd be so I'd draw like a little bit and I go and I definitely don't want to be doing that for the whole live stream. That'd be too much. That'd be too much. I mean, if you think about it, drawing from a mirror nowadays really doesn't make any sense whatsoever. You know, everybody has access to cameras, and if you would have given a camera to an artist that didn't have a camera, that was doing portraits from a mirror, in a heartbeat, I guarantee you, in a heartbeat, they'd be like, "Oh, give me the camera. That's much easier. I just pose, take a picture, and then I have the reference perfectly still for the entirety of what I'm working on." I mean, really, you have to go back to a time where cameras were far less common and accessible to everyday people, that also produced a quality that would outdo that of looking at yourself in a mirror. Because now with cameras nowadays, with anything that you can fit in your pocket, literally, you can take a reference photo that is a much higher quality than what your eye sees. Because with my reference photo, my camera was, it was 2.5 meters away from me when I took the photo of myself, yet I can zoom in and see every hair on my face, every individual hair. If I were to have a mirror, even if I were to have a mirror like, maybe, 40 centimeters away from my face, I'd still have to squint to see the level of detail that I can just zoom in digitally now. Artists are notoriously always looking for the easier method of doing something. All right, I'm gonna do a little bit of blending with my solvent, and I think I'm gonna actually call it a day. Yeah, it has been an hour, so that's justifiable amount of time. I have another live stream that I'm doing over on Patreon. We are going to be finishing up a piece that I've been really enjoying. I showed it earlier. I'll show it after I after I blend this, I'll zoom out a little bit. Where is my paintbrush? Oh, there it is. Trying to hide from me. If you're not going to pick one and just, if you were going to pick one brand of color pencils, which one would it be and why? Well, I would pick my favorite, which is Prismacolor, and I would pick them for the same exact reasons that they're my favorite. They have the better color selection, they are cheaper, and they work just as well as the other brands. They have a little bit lower level of light fastness, meaning that they don't last as long. They will fade over time. Not all of them, but a number of them. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but I like them to be accessible in price, what I'm referring to in price, because before I just did art because I liked it. I enjoy it. It's very peaceful to me, and I like to create things. But now I enjoy art even more because I like to teach it. And the best part about Prismacolors is that because they are so affordable, that I can use them in my tutorials and I can teach colored pencils without having to worry about, people going out and spending $300-400 on supplies. You can buy a really nice pack of paper for about $25-30, and you can buy the full set of Prismacolors for usually around $90. Sometimes even less if you find an online deal somewhere. And so you get a pack of pencils that I guarantee you will last you 4 years easily. I have my original set. I started off with just the 72 set of pencils of Prismacolors because I thought it was outrageous that I bought the 72 pack for like $80 from a local art store. I did not shop around at all. And I thought it was outrageous. I was like, oh, I cannot justify spending any more than this on pencils, because it was the first time I was going to be, diving into colored pencils. So I was like, I'm just getting the pack of 72. Well, I used that same pack of 72, never once bought an extra pencil for 2 years. For 2 years. In fact, if you go back on my channel, there's probably at least 70 drawings that I did that I used that original pack of 72 and never once replaced a pencil. Never bought an extra white, never bought an extra black, or any of the other colors that I used a lot of. And after those 2 years of using those pencils to their maximum effectiveness is when I felt, you know what? I think I might be justified in buying luminance pencils. So I used that same pack of 72 and did everything that I wanted to do with pencils, and then finally I upgraded to luminance. But almost as soon as I upgraded to luminance, I bought the whole pack of Prismacolors, and I have 2 of them. I have 2 full sets of Prismacolors just because I bought 1 full set of Prismacolors because I was like, you know what, I think it's time that I own the full set. And I bought a second set just to do 3 shots, maybe it was 4 shots of B-roll for my intro to colored pencil course. I'm pretty sure it was the intro to colored pencil course, or maybe it was the portrait course. I don't know which it was, but I bought a new set just so that I had brand new pencils, so that when I opened the lid, so it was maybe just 1 shot, maybe 2, literally 2 seconds worth of video. I bought a second set for. And that was one I could film me opening the lid for that 1 second, just showing the nice clean rack of brand new pencils. And yeah, I don't regret it because I love the pencils. I'll buy 2 more if I had any room left in my flat, but I literally can't buy anything else because I have no room anywhere. Good day, Chrissy. You're a little late. I'm actually just about to sign off. I blended my skin and my lips out. They're not 100% done, but I have, like I said, I have the Patreon stream in a couple hours. And let me just zoom out here so you guys get a little bit better context of what the drawing is looking like, because you guys are zoomed in much closer than what I would have to have the drawing like this close to my face. My eyes can barely focus at the level that I have you zoomed in, because I mean, here's the size of my hand, so my face sits on my palm. That's how small it is. It's not that big of a drawing. So you guys are zoomed in at a scale much greater than what the human eye can perceive. And so you get much more context here, seeing the drawing as I zoom out. But the real reason I'm doing it is so that I can show you this. This is what we're doing over on Patreon, and I'm finishing it. I'm doing a little drop shadow down here, and then I'm touching up the skin and brightening it, and just polishing this drawing. So that's what we'll be doing over on Patreon. If anybody cares to join today, it'd be fantastic. But other than that, just purchase the Intro to Soft Pastel course. Enjoy the way that you explain everything. Awesome. Thank you so much, Catrice. I hope that you enjoy it. Have fun with the course, and share, tag me in the finished projects that you do so I can see how they come out. But otherwise, that's going to be it for today. Tomorrow, I'm going to start on the new beard that all of you have been appreciating the past couple weeks. Anyways, I will see you over on Patreon, hopefully. If not, that's fine too. Have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Peace.